go. Welcome back, Central Valley Foodies. This week's guest is Anthony and Tasha Vallejo of Mega Texas Barbecue. I'm so excited to have you guys on this week.
Hey, we're
How you guys
excited to
doing?
be here.
Yeah,
Doing
very
good.
Anywhere you want to start, this is a real anticipated and interview people have been looking forward to. Anywhere you want to start, how did Mega Texas start, the name, and how long you guys been doing this?
So, we started I started selling barbecue probably about 8 years ago, 2015. It was kind of just like a side deal. I used to sell plates on Facebook. Facebook kind of ended abruptly because they changed the algorithms, and we started selling plates on Instagram. And we basically kind of got pretty popular. We got to the point where we're selling 80 plates just at lunchtime, twice a week, and delivering everything all over the Central Valley, Fresno, Clovis, outlying cities. We would deliver all during lunchtime. No delivery fee. This is pre-Uber Eats.
Pre-Uber Eats.
Pre-Uber Eats, pre-Grubhub, any of that stuff. And the word of mouth kind of just started. And it was Mega Texas was my handle on Instagram, which was a lot of people don't understand. That was actually my nickname. So,
Yeah, let's talk about the name. How did that start? We talked a little bit.
When I started selling barbecue, Tasha said, well, if you're going to sell barbecue, what are you going to call it? And I said, well, I'm the person cooking, Mega Texas Barbecue. And so she goes, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But people would order our plates, and then they would tag us in their story, and they'd say, oh, yeah, I got that Mega Texas, So it just kind of grew with it from there. And it's just something that's kind of stuck with us, I think when you think about barbecue, a lot of times you think about Texas. Texas is really known for barbecue. And, one of the things that we wanted to bring, actually, when we got so busy, we ended up thinking about opening a food truck. And the food truck, I guess, the opportunity really hadn't started yet. So we ended up actually opening it in the back of a gas station. Mm-hmm. One of my customers, actually, his dad owns the gas station we're in. Mm-hmm. And he said, hey, we have a full kitchen. Would you like to come and sell barbecue here? And so it actually wasn't something that just happened overnight. The dad actually initially told us he didn't want to do barbecue. He wanted to have tacos. So I gave him a plate, told him thank you for your time. Called me the next day and said, hey, come by, I need to talk to you. And when I went in, he said, I don't know what you did to that food, but I couldn't stop eating it because I'm not really a meat eater. He goes, let's give this a trial shot. And this is fast forward to 2018. Mm-hmm. We went down to the health department, got our permit. They had to come do a walkthrough, and it was probably about a week and a half. They gave us the green light to open. Everything just happened really easily.
So you guys had a good following before even opening, even before you got into the gas station.
Oh yeah,
you guys were on Facebook. Offering delivery service pre-Uber Eats, and at the time there was already a good amount of barbecue places kind of established already.
Yeah.
Westwood.
I think you had Westwood, you had Famous Dave's, of course you had Grill Masters. Mom and Pa's been around for quite a while. I think there was a couple of other ones as well. Phil's Corner Grill. Clovis, yeah. So it was just something that we felt good about. And we thought that we could do. We had a certain plan for how we were going to do service. It was just going to be a lunchtime only service, and what initially we wanted people to have the full experience of talking to me, mm-hmm. placing their order, watching me make their plate right in front of them. That's kind of the Texas experience that we had.
Kind of like that open kitchen experience.
Right. Yeah. Right. So initially that's what we did.
Because I think when we took the initial road trip, that we stopped at a bunch of different barbecue spots.
You noticed
that's
they were
what
doing
we
that?
Liked. Yeah, we liked that experience because as you wait in line to order your food, you're seeing the person who cooked it cut it right in front of you.
How it's prepped.
You're able to ask questions. You're able to ask what kind of meat that is if you're not familiar with it, and then you talk to people in line too. You get to know other people, why they're there, why they're excited, what what I mean, all those things.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like a vibe or a feeling, I guess. That's how we think of it as.
I mean, it's super. You feel the energy in the air, and it happens to us. you know, when we first opened, I guess the Fresno Bee did ARCO on us, and
Yeah.
we had long lines, and so there was a big feeling of anticipation. People
Yeah.
were excited. You could feel it was almost like electricity in there, you know. And so, you know, I think when you have that, it makes what you get even better. You know, you're so excited for it that when you finally get that plate in your hand, you're like, man, I've been waiting to try this, or I've been waiting to eat this.
I think it was different than anything else that we had experienced here in California.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a different type of food experience, and we liked it so much we just wanted to bring it here. I think that was one of the main things too.
Offer that style.
Right.
Yeah.
Craft barbecue that has ideas from all over, from Kansas City to Tennessee to Texas, just different styles of barbecue, but also California barbecue, and
Kind of
bringing
blend
it
them.
all together. But plus the experience of what you get when you go to the Midwest for barbecue, we wanted to bring that back here because we didn't see that as much.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really want to come down and experience in on site, and you know, smell the thing, walk up, and just the whole thing. I got to try it. My coworker went and got it and bring it back to us, and it was so freaking good. Everyone asked me what was your favorite thing, and I honestly couldn't decide. Like everything was so good. It all goes together, and it was really hard to just pick one meat out of there and say that was my favorite, because it was just all really good.
Remember, that makes me think of the experience we had at Heritage at their first year anniversary.
Yes.
Their grand opening. I can't remember.
It was their
a grand opening.
Yeah.
So we went down to San Juan Capistrano, and we're good friends with Danny and the team there at Heritage Barbecue. But we went for their grand opening, and we waited in line for
about
two to 3 hours.
at least 2 hours.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and what's his name? Tyler from Harp. Tyler Harp was there, helping them out in their grand opening, and so.
Tyler Harp is one of the best barbecuers in Kansas City.
Yeah.
In Kansas City.
Area. So
And he traveled a lot too and tried a lot of different places. But
Uh-huh.
the cool thing is, we're in line for that long. We met the people in front of us and the people behind us, and they were so excited and passionate about what we were talking about barbecue, because
Mm-hmm.
you know, we were talking about, we had a spot. I think two of the people were from San Juan, and then the other ones were from LA area.
yeah.
And when we went up to order, they said, "Can we all sit together?" And we're like, "Yeah, of course." You know, and this is like COVID. Like, this is still in COVID. Like, people had masks on and stuff in the line, but they all wanted to sit together. We're like, "Yeah, cool, we'll sit together." And as soon as we all got it, they're like, What's your favorite meat? What was your favorite bite? Remember, everybody
everybody's asking me.
him, yeah.
Because
What's
they're like,
your
well, you make
favorite?
barbecue. What is this good? Was this? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's
it was
good.
great,
you know?
yeah.
But you know, that's one thing they say that barbecue brings people together, and I think that's something that if you think about, you know, any type of celebrations you have when it's all the family reunions, usually it's around a barbecue. You know, it's around people getting together, cooking stuff on the grill. You know, you got a potluck. Somebody's bringing the potato salad. We were just talking about potato salad, or the macaroni salad, and that was something that was a tradition in my family growing up. You know, we barbecued throughout the week. I come from a pretty big family. We had a small house with no central air conditioning, and we cooked about 3 or 4 times out the week outside. You know, and
That's where you gain your experience.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
The chicken I make. My chicken that I make, I cook it the same way I cooked it when I was 14 years old. My dad wasn't home from work yet. And my mom said, "Hey, go start the grill. You know how your dad does it," and that's the way I cook it now. I still cook it to this day. You know,
Same
the
way.
same way. Everything else is a little bit different, but very similar. My dad was the barbecue guy in my family. You know, when somebody had a cookout, I mean, he was the one usually asked, "Hey, can you cook?" You know.
Now, you guys were, a lot of people don't know this, and I just found this out yesterday when we were talking, that you guys were the first ones in the valley to start doing the chicken lollipops. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else was doing them. I've seen other people do them afterwards. I actually got inspiration from a buddy of mine. He does catering in the Hollister area. His Instagram is Los Executioners Barbecue. And he made these bacon wrapped chicken lollipops, and I'm like, man, those look.
So what is it
good.
for people who don't know? What's a chicken lollipop?
So what we do is we start with a regular drumstick, and we do a modified French on them. Where basically, if you think about the drumsticks, a lot of times you end up giving it to the kids because kids aren't going to eat them all.
Yeah.
Because people don't like the tendons, they don't like all the ends of the meat.
Like
So
the chewy fatties.
The chewy part,
right,
yeah.
and so we get rid of all that stuff. We take off the skin and we replace it with bacon. And when we cook them, the bacon actually sticks to itself. It starts to like almost cook to itself. So it in end becomes like bacon skin.
Oh, okay.
And when you eat those chicken lollipops, I always tell people it's like if that chicken was born with bacon for skin, because you take a bite and the chicken, a lot of times you try bacon wrap stuff and one bite and all the bacon falls off. With ours, it does not happen like that.
It doesn't do that.
Yeah, so they're pretty good, and initially that was what we were known for when I first started selling plates.
Chicken lollipops.
Chicken lollipops. Yeah, people would order just for that.
I haven't. That's one thing I didn't get to try. When I tried a little bit of everything with the plate I got, but that was the one thing I really wanted to try. So next week when I come by, I'm definitely gonna try that, because what's better than chicken and bacon?
Right. Yeah.
In one
for
thing.
sure.
So you got your experience, cooking with your family, and kind of made your way for the Facebook, and then you guys got a really strong social media presence. If you guys go to their Mega Texas on Instagram, these guys, their marketing is so much fun to watch. They're having fun. They're creating Star Wars based menus. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, it's just something. I'll say I'm a pretty decent Star Wars fan, and for Star Wars fans, of course, the big day is May the 4th, is Star Wars Day, and we had the idea one year to let's capitalize on this. Let's make some Star Wars themed menu items, and it's grown from I think 2 or 3 menu items to this last year. Our entire menu was Star Wars based. So what we do, reimagined to what you would do if you were in the Star Wars universe, like the names, the flavors you would get. Like I make these things. They become very popular. They're Stormtrooper ribs, so they're my ribs, but they're seasoned a little differently. And then we finish them with the Alabama white sauce. So they're white. The sauce or the ribs are white like Stormtroopers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they're pork ribs, but when you eat them, they almost taste beefy. So that's something that's not typical. I mean, how do you make pork taste like beef? Part of it is the seasoning. Part of it is all the treatment that I do with it. And I've had several people tell me those are the best ribs they've ever had in their life. And it's just so interesting to give a twist to something. And initially when I used to make those chicken lollipops, people say, "Oh, those are out of this world. Those are out of this world." And the whole Star Wars Days give us opportunity to give things. I think even the experiences. We recently did Star Wars Day at Disneyland, and
Nice.
I think some of the stuff we make would hold its own at any of those places. So it's pretty cool, because we were talking about it as we were there. We do some pretty cool stuff. So.
And we do all the holidays too, like Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween. We usually have special ways, like seasonings and different things that we use on the meats to just make it kind of fun. So.
That's really fun. That's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. So I love good barbecue. I know what I like. I like go experience different barbecue places. And now I don't know too much about the preparation that goes into preparing different things. I know there's a lot of different ways to do it. So how do you do your barbecue? What separates you, and what's your style kind of as far as what you're using to prepare it with, and your smokers and all that?
So, I mean, a lot of times, because of course the name is Mega Texas, people think we're Texas style barbecue. I wouldn't say we were Texas style. I would say we take a lot of inspiration from a lot of places. I'd say it's not Texas style, it's Mega Texas style. It's the way that we like to eat things. So we're constantly, I guess, educating ourselves on other barbecue. So whether it's traveling down south to eat at Heritage Barbecue, or going up north to go and eat at Horn Barbecue, or we actually traveled. We went to Kansas City for a barbecue festival. We went and eaten at several places in Texas. So we've eaten all across the country.
Memphis, yeah.
In Tennessee, we've been in Alabama, We ate barbecue in New York too, even, and in that area, Virginia. We ate in Virginia barbecue. So I mean, going there and bringing those experiences back to the people of the Central Valley, I think it's something that we take a lot of pride in. You know, when we went to Kansas City, we came back and we did one of the most famous sandwiches that they make is called the Z-Man, and it's actually at a place called Joe's Kansas City Barbecue, which is actually located in a gas station. So it's one of the most famous barbecue places located in a gas station.
That sounds familiar.
Their sandwich is called the Z-Man, and so when we came back, we made our own interpretation of it, and instead of calling it the Z-Man, we called it the KC Man, and so people came to just try that sandwich. You know, I mean, without having to go to Kansas City, you can come to here at a spot here in Fresno in the Central Valley and get a similar experience to what you would get in Kansas City. You know, or when we went to Memphis, one thing that they're known for in Tennessee is dry rib rubs. There's no sauce on them, and so we ate at several places, and I was inspired. I came back and I brought some of the seasoning that they use for it, and I made my own version. And we served. We had it was a Memphis plate, right? Dry rib rubs, and it was pulled pork with a little bit of the dry rub, and actually we made smoked bologna. So that's something
really popular.
That's a southern thing too.
It is very popular, smoked bologna. You know, I've had it before and I've really enjoyed it, but we thought let's bring that to the people that experience. You know, so and people really enjoyed that. People were really happy. Actually, we sold smoked bologna sandwiches. People were buying that.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I mean, opportunity to try something that maybe you haven't had, and it's what we do, but just a little inspiration from the places that we go, and you know, that's what. You know, we post all of this, of course, on our social media, which I think is key. You know,
yeah,
I think,
definitely.
Nowadays, if you're a business, social media is the place you want to be.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
The brisket, pork butt ribs take about how long?
So for ourselves, like our brisket and our pork butt take about 12 hours. So in order to be ready for service at 11, I typically want to have about a 4-hour rest. So they have to be done at 7 a.m. in the morning. So I'm starting at 7 p.m. the night before. So
wow.
Even though I'm open on not until Wednesday, I actually start cooking on Tuesday, and I'm starting to cook on Wednesday for Thursday. So our ribs take about 6 hours. So those start at about 3 in the morning. Try to chicken and sausage take a little bit less. So we cook that in the morning.
The lollipops, that's got to be a lot of prep too. I'm guessing too. You know?
The prep is probably about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how many we're making.
Yeah.
Depending on how many we're making, an hour to an hour and a half each day. Sometimes we've done a couple times where we made over 300 chicken lollipops, and that's about a 2.5 hour.
Yeah.
And these are just the meats, guys, and they got all their sides. They still got to make. And so, what do you guys offer for sides?
We have our brisket chili beans.
Chili beans. Those are really good, by the way.
Our potato salad, coleslaw, rice pilaf, and then our green chili mac and cheese, which Tasha makes the green chili mac and cheese. It is, people love our mac and cheese. I think our top two sides are the green chili mac and cheese and our brisket chili beans. Right?
Brisket chili beans.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of smokers are you using to get these flavors and to prepare everything?
So I use a insulated vault smoker for my ribs, and I'm cooking my brisket, my pork butts on a gravity fed smoker. So a little bit different than like some of the places in Texas use a offset all wood smoker. So this actually uses a combination of charcoal and wood. I like them because I don't have to continually man the fire the whole time because I'm cooking multiple meats and prepping multiple things.
Yeah.
So it gives me a little bit of time to do everything because pretty much I cook all the meats. Tasha will help me when it's time to wrap the ribs. She does the prep on the chicken.
The sides.
She does all the stuff. Right, and she helps pull all the stuff off. But those help me to be able to get the job done with one person. And we like the amount of smoke that you get on it too. It's nothing that's too heavy.
Yeah, we were just talking about it yesterday. One thing I've noticed going to different barbecue places, even though I don't know so much about the process, I'm still learning. But some places you get that smoke more than others. Some you get that real intense smoke, and then sometimes it's more mild or. And
Yeah, and it just depends. It depends on what you're cooking on and how are you cooking on it. I could definitely go a little heavier on the smoke with what I'm doing, but I like so Tubby Stone, Hall of Fame barbecuer, says you should use smoke the same way you use salt and pepper, and it should be sparingly. It should be to enhance the flavor of the meat and not overpower it. When you take a bite of what we do, most time you're not really getting smoke first. You're getting smoke as far as you smell it, and that excites the taste buds. It gets you ready to bite on it. And when you're eating it, the first thing you should taste is the meat.
Mm-hmm.
The meat, and all the seasoning, the little bit of sauce that we do, is just to enhance what's already there, what's already naturally there.
Now I have to ask, what's your thought on pellet smokers for home use and all that?
You know what? I think so. I'm a big believer in use what works for you. Actually, I just saw one of my good buddies. His name is Benny Kendrick. He's a Kendrick Barbecue on Instagram. 300,000 followers. He's basically one of the faces of Traeger grills. Him and I started in a very similar place, cooking in the backyard for our families. And, where I'm in the point where I'm running a restaurant, he is one of the influencers and, like I said, one of the faces of Traeger grills. And, I have total respect for what he does. He cooks on a Traeger, on a pellet smoker. I cook on, I have different smokers now, but when I initially started, I was cooking on a Weber grill. I was cooking on I initially started at 3 Weber grills that I was cooking on, and when I teach my barbecue class, that's what I teach on. You know, and that's one thing I go over in my class. I said, for you, this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of smoker you use. You just have to use what works for you.
Whatever works for you. Yeah.
And I think the flavors are going to change and they can vary in anything that you use.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's what makes you happy. It's what tastes good to you. If your family is enjoying what you're making, keep doing that, man, because that's the end of it. Like I said, barbecue is meant to be, I think, a celebration food. I think we're a lot of times, we have people come in and they're coming in for their anniversaries. People come in and get food for their birthdays, and that's a huge compliment to me and to us, because you can go to a place, a nice sit down place, and have a drink or be in the air conditioning, and yet people are coming in for their birthday dinner.
They want that labor of love.
Right.
And, but barbecue's a labor of love, man.
Right.
It's I tried one time, with my Weber grill I had in my backyard and made ribs, and man, it was a process, but I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I got the apple juice, and I had a
spritzing. Yeah.
I spritzed it and did a thing. It came out pretty good. Not as good as going to somewhere like you, but of course, but it's a labor of love, and there's a lot of variations and fun things you can do with it. The Star Wars menu. These guys are killing it with their marketing, their menu, a wide variety of things, and what makes them unique, I think, too, is everything they have is good. They don't necessarily specialize in one thing like a lot of barbecue places. They kind of do it all and do it all right, and it's a lot of fun to experience, and I can't wait to come check out inside the shop.
Yeah.
Is there any advice you would give to people trying to get into barbecue and maybe make a business out of it? Or
I would say first I would say one of the really important parts of us being successful or doing what we do is our social media. And I actually learned and was inspired by following people who barbecue. I think the more you see, the more you're around barbecue, and the more you see, the more you're able to create that stuff, or you're able to at least make the attempt to create it. Follow people who barbecue. Follow people who are talking about to make a barbecue good. Go eat those places. We make it a point to go and eat every barbecue place that we hear of. Every one that we hear of is good.
That's got to be fun education. You get to eat. You get to eat and educate yourself at the same time.
Right.
Right.
And
Because I think if you want to make good food or good barbecue, you have to eat good food, eat good barbecue. And you have to eat bad food, and you have to eat bad barbecue. I mean, it goes hand in
Experience
hand
it all.
with
Yeah.
making, if you want to make the best, you have to go out and eat. If you're not going out and eating it, then how do you know where you're at?
Mhm.
As a pit master, as a cook, whatever,
Sometimes people, they kind of laugh when I tell them this. I said, but it wasn't always that good. It wasn't always as good as it is now. And I know because, whenever I used to tell Tasha, hey, let's barbecue, she would say, not today, or not,
Yeah.
not this time. And, it was important for me because it was something that I enjoyed, that I made it right and that she wasn't happy with it. And I do remember the first time I ever smoked a pork butt, and she had come home from work, and I made pulled pork, I made my own sauce, coleslaw, the whole deal, and she's eating it, and she's like, man, this is really good. She goes, where'd you buy it?
Where'd you buy it?
Where'd you buy it? And I said, I made it. And she's like, you made this? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, wow, and I think that was such a good experience for me. I was so happy that she enjoyed what I made. I just wanted to do more.
Yeah.
I never thought that would end up barbecuing. Even though barbecuing was part of my life so much earlier, I never thought that barbecue would be someplace I went to. But it just went. It started out of love for cooking for my family, and when people started asking me, "Hey, can you make me a tri-tip? Can you make me some pulled pork?" And it kind of grew. It just grew from there, And
Back to what Tasha was saying, I think that's so important for anybody, and whether you're in barbecue, whether you're wanting to do anything in life, I think it's really important to focus on just the experience of whatever it is and drawing inspiration. For example, I'm really inspired by guys like Anthony Bourdain, Guy Fieri, obviously, and Huell Hauser. Those are some of my biggest inspirations for what I'm trying to accomplish, and I think it's really important to just learn from whatever the best in the game, the best,
Yes.
and everybody in the game, not
Yes.
even the best, just anyone in the realm of whatever you're trying to do.
Because you can take things from everywhere that you go.
Yeah.
And bring it into your, even if it's not the type of food you sell, you can bring it in. Like we went to How and Ray's in LA.
Oh yeah.
And it was like one of
Yeah.
like the ultimate best customer service experiences we've ever had.
I've been there once. I would wait 10 hours for that sandwich
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I would find something
Did you
to
get
do.
to go in there and eat?
I got to go in there, eat at the counter.
Oh,
the guys
it's
in there,
amazing.
so much fun. Howlin' Ray's in LA. If you guys
Yes,
go, I know
yes.
it's not Central Valley, but get down there. I mean, that's in Chinatown, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they do this fried chicken sandwich. Nashville, is it Nashville hot? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Yes,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the perfect chicken sandwich. I mean,
It's not
everyone
even
tries to
just-
get it like
it's
that.
great food, but the customer service experience that you get in there
Yeah.
is just like out of this world.
Yes.
Like never have had
The staff,
experience
everyone there
that
is having
amazing.
so much fun.
Yes.
I've never seen a staff so lit up.
Yeah.
It feels like you're the only people in the building.
Yes.
They put the light on you. They shine. It's like the sun is shining on you when you're in there. And
It's like you're on a movie set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about that.
Yeah.
Experience.
We always talk about that, and
It's
we're
something that
like
we
want to
strive for.
emulate that as much as we can because it was such a memorable and great experience for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if the food is amazing there too, but even if the food wasn't as amazing as it is, just the experience.
Yeah, you're going for a
itself
show.
Would have been
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what kind of awards have you guys won for your barbecue? I see sometimes you guys
Yeah, I
show
mean,
some of the awards.
we've won several different awards for ribs, tri-tip, chicken.
In local barbecue competitions, and then in 2021 and 2022, we were Central Valley People's Choice. I believe we were bronze the 2021, and then we were silver in 2022.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. I think that was it. Right?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, the awards are great, but I think really the biggest reward that we get is when people come and tell us, man, we love what you're doing. Thank you.
That
You know,
feedback from your followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the things that I think has come with what we really didn't expect was people recognizing us around town.
Yeah.
And we get it so often. I mean, and it's everywhere. It feels like everywhere we go.
The social media helps, I bet, and I it's got to be a lot of fun for your followers, I'm sure. For guys who've been with you since you guys started the Facebook,
Oh yeah,
and seeing how far you've come now, it's got to be a lot of fun for them.
oh yeah,
your longtime followers.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
There's people who say, oh yeah, I ordered them before they were
Before they even
before
big.
nobody
Yes.
knew who they
Yeah.
were. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I gotta ask. I always ask people this. Do you have some favorite valley spots to eat? Maybe not just barbecue, but just some favorite Central Valley spots. Or
yes,
that are only
yes.
Central Valley.
So one of our favorite places to eat, actually, we ate lunch there today. Castillo's.
Mhm.
We love Castillo's in East Side Fresno. It's on Ventura, and it's in
No, I
between
don't know.
Cedar and it's been in between Cedar and First. Most people know Castillo's. I say the chili verde there is amazing. We usually get the chili verde burrito.
That's on my list. I haven't gone there yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's one
And
of our favorites.
that's one of those places too where they treat you so well. I
Mhm.
mean, you would think that they know us, but I don't know if they do or not.
Uh-huh.
But
They
would
treat
think
you like
they
that.
treat you
They
like
treat you like that
family.
anyways.
It's like you're coming into somebody's house and then hey, like I used to go to my grandma's house and be like, have a seat, mijo. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're being welcomed into somebody's house to enjoy a good meal. And that's an amazing feeling. Like the food is great on top of it, but
It feels
Yeah.
less business and more home.
Yes.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Heirloom.
Oh, we love heirloom.
Heirloom eats. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Give me
yeah.
one more. Give me one more. That's another one I got to try.
Our friends, El Primo Mayor. We love
Oh,
the
yeah.
tacos over there.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mocello is a really great place too. It's a great date night place that I think it's one of my favorite places.
Is
Oh.
that the one next to Annex Kitchen?
Yes.
Yes, I've been there. They
And
do the
so-
small bites.
Yes,
and-
the
yeah.
tapas are
Tapas.
amazing, and then plus the drinks. The bartender there to me is like the best drinks I've ever had in
Oh yeah,
Fresno.
we love it.
And
We
we've
love.
gone to a lot of the big places,
Mhm.
but to me, Mocello is just
One of your favorites.
amazing.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
love
All right. All right.
it. We have a lot more, but
And then what's your favorite thing you make personally? For both of you guys, what are your favorite things you make?
I mean, I love. Obviously, I love everything I make, but I think the thing I'm the most proud of is my ribs. I remember when I first made ribs. Sometimes they were good, and sometimes they were not that good. And nowadays, I mean, they are good every time. And we literally have people drive from Oakland to come and get our ribs.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's super cool. I mean, people tell us I've eaten ribs everywhere, and I can't find ribs that are like this, and
right.
that makes me super proud, especially knowing that they weren't always that good, but I know they are. I know they're good now. I have no question. I have no doubt.
And I like one thing I love about your ribs too is they got some give.
Yeah.
A lot of people obsess about fall off the bone, and
Right.
it's
right.
just a different style, I guess. But
Yeah, I think there's a balance in between. Typically people consider fall off the bone is overdone, and they can turn ribs if you cook them too long, they can turn into mush. But you should have a little bit of texture. You should have a little bit of bite when you bite it, and you should be able to have a clean bite through the meat. And when you pull it, it should come gently away from the bone. So I feel like I have a system that I do.
Yeah.
Actually, I teach that system in my barbecue class. I tell people if you like my ribs, I'll show you exactly how to make them. And our barbecue class are the people who take it, they love it.
and when do you guys offer those?
So typically we do about 3 to 4 a year. I think we've had about 14
Yeah.
barbecue
You've
classes.
you've done them at Tioga Brewing, right?
Yeah, that's typically
Tower?
where we have it. Yeah,
Yeah.
at
Not
Tioga
Tower,
in
in the
downtown.
Downtown, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a really good working relationship with Tioga. We basically they allow us to use their space. We come out there with 4 or 5 girls, depending on how many people sign up for the class. We teach you how to do. Right now it's 4 meats: ribs, tri-tip chicken, and pork belly.
Pork belly's hot right now.
Mhm.
You get a snack about halfway through the class. Plus, we get to eat everything we make at the end. We
beers.
provide. We buy beers from Tioga, so you're there. You can relax, have a couple beers on us.
How much does that cost for the class?
The cost is $250.
You get a lot of food though.
You
Yeah.
get to
A
learn
lot of food,
all that.
a lot of
Yeah.
education.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is being able to go home and
feel confident.
do right. And it's so interesting because I just had somebody from my last class. They messaged me and said, "Hey, here's pictures of my tri-tip," and it looked, very similar to what I make. And
That's
he said,
cool.
"I just want to thank you." He goes, "Generally, my wife doesn't allow me to barbecue. She's like, well, we'll go buy it." He goes, "This time she told me that's the best tri-tip you've ever made." She goes, "I can't wait for you to make a pork belly." So, that's pretty exciting. To see people. I've had people who have taken my barbecue class win awards themselves in
Yeah.
rib competition. So we had a
That's gotta feel great, and that's cool that you give the education out. I mean, you could hide it and keep it here and not give your secrets away. That's really
There
nice.
was definitely discussion before we started,
Yeah.
but the passion is out there, and it's everything that he learned. It was everything he learned through his own research and his own experience. So it's not like people couldn't do it themselves. This is just like a crash course. You could totally go online and learn everything he learned, but it'll take you a while.
Yeah.
It's not going to take one day. It's going to take a long time to search for that stuff.
Trial and error.
And so for him to bring it all to you with his experience, his knowledge, and he's actually like a person that you can talk to after the class. So he's like, if you have questions, if you didn't remember something or whatever, just message me and I'll get back to you. So it's not just like the one-time class.
I mean, basically,
It's like an open book.
You take the
Right.
class, you have a membership to ask me any questions pertaining to what we learned from now until forever. I mean, as long as I can do it, I'm going to answer. I had somebody from who took the class a couple years ago just shoot me a message. They're like, "Hey, I haven't made ribs in a while. What do I do with here and here?" I told him, he's like, "Yeah," and then send me the pictures. I mean, he sent me the pictures, and we've had people see. They send us pictures, and it's amazing because I'm like, I'm so happy that the whole point is helping them to give that experience to their family, and one thing I think by teaching the class, sometimes people say, well, people are going to learn what you do. They're going to go and sell and barbecue. We have had people who
We've had
own
chefs
restaurants.
come and run restaurants.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
And and to me that's
Other barbecue people.
right. And, it's starting to get where I have people who do barbecue catering out of town, and they drive in out of town to see what I do. Like, so people will tell them, "Hey, man, you should go take this class." And that's a huge compliment. I see people, adjusting to what they do, but really, I think part of the class is educating people on the processes that it takes to get what we do, and to raise the level of expectation for what barbecue is. I know since I've been around, I've seen there's so many more barbecue places doing, not just restaurants, but a lot of guys doing like pop-ups and selling the way that I started selling.
Yeah, the pop-up thing is big now too. I mean, I go on Instagram, I follow these food accounts throughout the valley, and
and
see a lot of them popping up.
that's something that I feel like when I was doing it, there really wasn't a whole lot of people doing it. There was a few restaurants, there was a few here and there, and we've seen them come and go. And of course the people who go is because they don't realize it's so much work day in and day out. You know? It is we typically work 18-hour days when we're open, and that's what it takes to create what we do. That's why we're only open for lunch. It's about the quality. It's about making sure we're not
Consistent.
The only days you guys are off are Monday, right? Or
We're closed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Sunday, Monday. Okay,
But usually we're cleaning, prepping, shopping on those days.
you're still doing
Yeah.
stuff for.
And sometimes we cater on those days. It just depends. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing you guys make?
My favorite barbecue is pulled pork. That's just my favorite,
That's just your
anyways.
favorite.
And I
Always.
love the way we do it because we don't put sauce on it. I do not care for the pre-sauced pulled pork.
Mhm.
I feel like you should be able to eat it by itself if you want, and you can add sauce as needed.
Yeah.
And so
I'm
I
the
know.
same way.
Yes. So when we first went on our road trip, we saw how they were doing pulled pork at the barbecue places, and they would keep it whole and just pull it pull it to order basically. And so when you got it, it was like super fresh, like ready to go. And you could put sauce if you wanted or not put sauce, and it was amazing. So I'm like, that's how we're
I
doing
mean,
our
we
work.
we want you to taste all the work that we
Right.
put into smoking that and getting to that point. You know, I mean,
Yeah, and just kind of
Um,
use sauce as a
right.
condiment, like
Right.
you
Yes.
said, like the salt and
Right.
pepper. It's kind of
Right.
just as needed.
Right, as needed. If you want
Yeah.
it or if you don't want it, you have that as an option. So yeah, that would be my favorite.
Yeah, that
for
was
sure.
one thing I really loved about and appreciated about the food when I tried it. I didn't get it as fresh as possible because I was
That's
at work,
okay.
but I'm gonna do this next week. But I really appreciated the thought that went into that, every part of it, but especially that that it's not overly sauced with everything. You can really taste the hard work and dedication that goes into everything you guys do.
well, thank
For
you.
sure,
Yeah.
And is there anything else you want our audience to know?
No, I mean, the one thing I say I reiterate is talking about social media. I think that the key to us, of course, every time that we have we're featured or we have a story about us, there's a bump in business. They call it a bubble sometimes, and that bubble usually only lasts so long. So how do you keep it going? How do you keep that momentum going for that? And one of the things that we do, I think we're super creative with our social media.
Definitely.
We like to keep up with the times. We use trendy audios. We're making on Instagram, it's reels, and those are the things that keep people engaged. And I think knowing your audience, so we're a lot more active on our Instagram than we are on our Facebook, and that's because that's the way that the audiences work. People enjoy it, don't mind it a little more often on Instagram compared to Facebook. We are on TikTok as well. TikTok hasn't really.
We're not super active on TikTok. So.
It's not. I mean, we still have, I think, almost 14,000 followers
Yeah.
on TikTok.
But we don't
Yeah.
really focus on TikTok. We really focus on Instagram because that's where our customers are, and
Yeah.
Facebook because that's where our customers are coming from. But I think I read something that said, for social media, you have to be in front of people's faces. And right now, everybody has their cell phone, right?
Yeah.
Like it had a customer come in the other day, and we were having Texas Twinkies, and she was like, "I was in the doctor's office, and I saw that you had Texas Twinkies, so I had to come over." So if you're not in people's faces, it used to be radios in your car, it used to be television, it used to be these things, but now you're going more to social media, where in a story, somebody can watch a reel in a couple of seconds, and if they like it, they're going to click on it, they're going to follow you,
Exactly.
they're going to look at your content, and they're going to be interested, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not in front of people's faces, if you're not doing those reels, you're not doing those pictures, people aren't going to see you. You're going to be invisible.
Yeah.
So that's our goal. That's what our goal is always to do.
Well, you guys are doing
So-
it, and I feel like I believe that Instagram is probably the best place for small local restaurants in the valley for that business. I think Instagram's probably the best.
Right.
Yeah.
For
We
other
have
things,
seen-
Facebook, but
Right, and then if you even ask teenagers, like our daughter, for the last few years, she's 19 now, but we would go and visit a city, and she would be like, "Look what I found on Instagram. We have to go."
yeah,
Just because she liked the pictures, we didn't know anything else about it, but the pictures looked cool to her, and she wanted to go to that place.
yeah.
So I think that's how you're gonna get the kids' attention too, or your younger audience. You're gonna get their attention by saying, "Hey, look, this is here," and they're gonna be like, "This looks amazing. We gotta
we've
go
seen
try this."
our audience start to widen into the younger
Yeah.
ages more recently
Because of the social
because
media.
of social media. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, any place you go, you're at the doctor's office or you're standing in line at the grocery store. 9 times out of 10, people are looking at their with their head down, looking at their phone, and they're most likely they're looking at social media, Instagram, Facebook,
Yep.
TikTok. So
Right.
if you are a business, any type of business, I feel like you need to be there at some point, and it's about consistency. It's about we follow a lot of people who talk about how to remain in the eye, and you have to do what works for you. If it's once a day, if it's once every 2 days, if it's twice a day, you have to do.
As long as you're consistent.
Yeah,
As long
Yeah.
as you're consistent.
Consistency is key. I
Yes.
mean, even with what I do, I always make sure I'm doing a show once a week. Eventually, I'd like to do more. Eventually, I'd like to
Right.
do more, maybe 2-3 days a week, and get a podcast going and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But,
And sharing other people's food too. You know,
Yeah.
if you're a local small business and you're going and eating at other local small businesses, lifting up others and sharing people's food is so important. I know there's so many places that we've gone to and we've shared their food, and we'll go to those same places and they'll be our customers will be there. Like, I came here because you said it was good.
Yeah.
You know, and you kind of earn people's trust in that way by saying if something's good and sharing other people's, because they're going to share you in return. And it's not, you know, it's not anything bad. It's all positivity, and it's all helping your local
Yeah.
community. So
We're all trying to
enjoy
win.
doing
We're all
that.
trying to get
Right.
fed.
And-
We're all
Right.
trying to have fun.
And there's enough to go around.
Yep.
Everybody can win. There's no reason why, you know, you should say, well, I don't want them to win because I might not win. No, that's not true.
Yep.
You know, there's, you know, if you think about it, right? So we were just talking about Kansas City barbecue. You know, there's over 100 different barbecue places in the Kansas City
In
area.
the area, and they're all
No.
thriving, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. They're doing well. So I mean, if there's 100 different barbecue places in a big city, you know, why can't there be 10 or 15 or 20?
I was talking to a coffee roaster recently, and on here, and we were talking about the same thing. You know, it's fun for the customer. It's fun for the customer.
Right.
It's like shopping. You know, you go here for this, you go here for that. We're all different and built different and like different things. So I mean, whereas a customer wants to go to Mega Texas and get you know, the lollipops and the ribs, maybe they want to go somewhere else and get this, but we're all here just trying to have fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
It's like you know what I do. There's probably one or two other people in the valley that does similar things to what I do, and that's fine. You know, we can all have fun with it and win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
sure.
But Tasha, Anthony, thank you so much for coming by today.
Oh,
Thank
pleasure to
you.
have you guys
for having
on.
us, Yeah.
Thank you.